everyone. I'm Linda Reed Enever, and welcome to another Business Skills webinars. These skills webinars are designed to do just that, bring skills to you that you can use in your business every day. We've been running these skills webinars for just over 2 years now, and I am loving the connections that we get to make with everyone. So the skills webinars normally happen once a month, but sometimes we'll pop in 2 or 3 a month, just depending on what's going on and what amazing people we have to teach you skills. Today, we are being joined by Karla. Karla is one of my course creation students who's been through the course creation journey with me. We've done lots of fun stuff together. We've got her course out and ready. And one of the cool things about working with Karla throughout this period is I've got to understand what her course is and how much she knows about the world of Instagram. So I invited her along here to come and run a skills webinar with us today, so she can teach us about how, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we can use Instagram. Karla, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited to be talking to you about Instagram.
It is awesome. Karla, now you and I did the course creation journey together, and you put your course together out there, and you've taken that face-to-face workshop that you've been teaching and you've put it into an online course. How was that experience?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I got a PhD in course creation over the space of probably about 30 days. It's been intense.
It was an intense process. And what I discovered during that time is Karla has an amazing knowledge of Instagram and how you can use it to market your business, share your stories. And I know that our community here inside Business loves the world of learning new skills and making social media work for them. So today you're going to share with us some Instagram tips. What are we going to walk away with by the end of today's session?
Yeah, you're going to have a really good idea of how to get into action on Instagram so that you can be having conversations with your potential clients. And I'm all about action and getting into action, so that the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you today are really designed to help you use them so that you can be having conversations with your potential clients on Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to hand today's session over to you. You are ready to present. I will keep an eye on the comments on both the live stream and the Facebook. Guys, the live stream and the chat here. Guys, if you are on Instagram, let's jump in. Let's share our links either on the Facebook live stream or here in the chat, and let's get some Instagram networking happening together, because as a community, we can make some pretty good impact.
All right. Yeah, can't wait to connect with you all. I'll be sharing more with you about the content closet, which is my methodology and the course that I have. And I'll be sharing all sorts of tips with you throughout our webinar today. Here's what we're going to be talking about: the power of Instagram, how to manage your Instagram expectations so that you know what Instagram is really good at doing and what it's not good at doing, so that you can tailor your marketing strategy and social media strategy accordingly. Things to share and tools to save time, because I know that you're all busy business owners and don't have unlimited time to be spending on Instagram because you're running a business. So I'm all about saving time and your next steps, so what action you can take from what you learned today. And then I have a special offer that I'll tell you about at the end. And I just want to let you know, I just want to thank Linda for all of the wonderful wisdom and help and hand-holding, and just how she was able to walk me through getting my first online course up and running. And I couldn't have done it without her, and you are so lucky that you get to learn from her all the time. And I have just so appreciated her. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. You are very welcome.
It has been amazing to watch your course come to life. And that's what I love about what I do, is getting to watch people put things together and see it come to life.
Yeah, and there were some times where I wasn't sure if it was going to.
We've all been there.
So thank you. Thanks for believing in me. Since I can't see you, please be sure and put your Instagram handle into the chat. Linda is monitoring all of that. And I would love to have either one word or an emoji to describe how you feel about Instagram.
Oh, yes.
So please go ahead and put that in the chat. So let's talk about the power of Instagram. What I love about Instagram is you can make connections all over the world. I'm in the US, a lot of you are in Australia, but we can connect. And I can work with customers all over the world that I meet through Instagram, and so can you. Instagram is a really great place to establish yourself as an expert in your niche, whatever your niche is. And the more niched you can be, the better you can establish yourself as that expert. It's a great platform for sharing relevant information with your audience, and it's a great place to be able to put yourself out there with the expertise that you have to be able to find and connect with your tribe. It's a great place to grow your following, and a lot of times people get so caught up in the numbers, how many followers they have, but it's really about creating the conversations and the connections with the people that are your ideal customers. And of course, we all want to make some money. So converting those conversations into customers is really important on Instagram. So here are some stats on Instagram. I'm sure none of these numbers will surprise you, but there are 1 billion monthly active users, 500 million active daily users. That's a whole lot of conversations going on Instagram. It's staggering, and 95 million photos shared every day. So, that's just, it's mind-boggling. It skews towards 3/4 of the people are under the age of 35. It doesn't mean that everyone is, but that's just kind of how the numbers go. More women than men. It is connected or makes it super easy to share to Facebook from Instagram. And when you have a business account on Instagram, you can advertise using both Facebook and Instagram platforms, which is really pretty cool. It's a nice seamless integration. So how does Instagram work? Everybody knows there's an algorithm that determines, what gets seen and how much is seen or put out to people. So the more fans you have or the more followers, the more reach potentially your posts are going to have. The more relevant your posts are also going to get more reach. And Instagram rewards engagement. So not just people hearting, liking what you're saying, but taking the time to write a comment, to react to what you're sharing, to share it. Those are the things that count more heavily, and that gets rewarded in that more people get to see what you're sharing.
So quick question we've got asked is, what percentage of men plus women use Instagram? I don't have that stat on my list at my hands, guys.
I think it's more like a 60-40 last time I looked.
No, it's just an interesting one. I don't have that stat on my hands.
Yeah.
We can find it out, or you can type Instagram statistics into Google, guys. You will get very many of them quite quickly.
Of them. And I just pulled the
big ones.
A few of them. You can go down a rabbit hole with all the statistics.
Absolutely.
Some ways to get more engagement are involving other people in your Instagram posts and conversations through hashtags and @mentions and tagging. So those are some ways for more people to see what you're sharing too. And then user-generated content. So encouraging your customers to post, using your products or services, showing that, mentioning you, and those are great ways for you to be able to reshare those out as social proof. So those are all some great ways to get more exposure and more visibility, and reposting and regramming either your own content or other people's content. All right, so one of the things I think people forget about on social media, and particularly Instagram, is that it's not just about you sharing your message, your products, your services, what you want to tell people. Instagram is really an opportunity to have a conversation. So you do that through creating, and this is not just you expecting your audience to engage, like, comment, and share with you. It's also you doing the same thing with your ideal audience, and that's something people tend to forget. So I want to remind you that when you're having a conversation, it starts with liking other people's posts, having them like yours, commenting on the other people's posts. When people comment on yours, comment back, thank them.
Absolutely.
Give an emoji. And if you don't know what to say sometimes, share an emoji. I do that all the time with people. They may have shared something and I want to support them, but I don't really know how to comment on something they might be sharing. So I just do an emoji, and they get the benefit of a comment, and it gets me off the hook of having to figure out something really witty to say back to them. Asking a question, making a comment. This can be either on somebody else's, or when somebody is engaging with you, ask them a question. What did you like about what I shared? What was the most helpful thing about that? And just continuing the conversation. Eventually, you want to get to a point where you're having direct message contact. You're not just relying on commenting in a feed or a story. And then, encouraging that private interaction with the people that are either, ideal customers, that you have rapport with, that you're developing rapport with, that could turn out to be your exact ideal audience. And then transitioning to an email or a phone call where you're off of Instagram, but you're having a more detailed conversation with them about how you might be able to help them, and then converting them to customers. And this doesn't happen in one go. This is a process, just like building a friendship. In real life, it's the same kind of thing. It takes time and commitment. All right.
I think Renee is going to be sending lots of people emojis by the sounds of this.
Awesome. Emojis are fun, and sometimes, they capture what we're trying to say so much better than we can.
In a few words. And guys, look, that's nothing, for those of you who work with me, that's nothing new to what we've been saying. It's always about engaging to get engagement. And remember, the universe, whatever you would like to say, was going to give you what you give out. So you can't expect engagement if you're not engaging on other people's stuff. It's just not going to work. It's just not how it works.
Yeah, but it's so funny. People expect that. It's like,
absolutely.
I put out this thing, this beautiful image, or this, this really well-written thing, and nobody's engaging. But it's like, are you engaging with anyone else?
And one of the other things that I think that, Karla, we forget when we do any social media platform, 4 posts, 1 post, 2 posts, a couple of days post isn't a strategy. We've actually got to do it for a series of time to be able to see a result and work out what our audience wants and how people, are going to develop this program. So bearing in mind, guys, it's not, Instagram. I did 5 posts on Instagram. Unfortunately, it's not an Instagram strategy. And you cannot say it's failed or worked from there unless it's worked incredibly well. And then you'll go, oh my God, it works. Keep repeating that. But it normally takes more time.
I just had a 4-month program that was live, and one of my clients had been on Instagram about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And she was saying to me at some point throughout the course, I just don't know if Instagram's for me. And I just don't know if my customers are there. And, I really felt like she hadn't given it enough time. She'd been on Instagram seriously for about 4 months.
Yeah.
And you can't make that determination, not until you've really, you've had a strategy and you've worked the strategy and you've been engaging. Yeah. And it evolves. Your presence on Instagram is going to evolve over time. The clearer you become on, who your customers are and how you can help them. And that all evolves as you're doing it and you have experience, you have more clarity. All right, so Instagram is not a place to be salesy or spam people. I know we've all been on the receiving end of that, but sometimes we're the person who's doing that because all of our posts are about buy from me. buy from me. And that's not a good strategy. It's like a bank account. You have to put money or resources into the account before you can start taking out of it. And promoting is like taking money out of your bank account. So if you don't have any money in there, you shouldn't be promoting all the time. And it's not a replacement for email marketing. Some people think, oh, I don't have to have conversations outside of Instagram. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
And I know Linda has a lot to share about that.
Yes,
and
yes,
the primary focus isn't your mailing list, SEO, or your website. Those are separate strategies. And Instagram is not the only tool in your marketing toolbox. It's one of your tools that you're going to use, but it's not the only tool. You're going to have a lot of other tools that you're using to connect with your ideal audience and to build loyalty with them.
Fantastic. Now, Adriana's asked one of these questions, and this is one that I have an opinion on, but I'm keen to see what Karla's opinion is, and we'll match it together. Is should you have a call to action on your posts, or should you not have a call to action on your posts?
Yes, calls to action are very important, but a call to action can be leave an emoji in the comment. Your call to action can be let me know what you prefer. It could be, check out the link in my bio. It could be watch my video and, tell me if you agree. Call to action can be a lot of different things. Yes. So a call to action instructs people how they can respond appropriately. And, it could be that you're just sharing information, and that's fine, and it may or may not need a call to action. But when you have a call to action, it just helps people know what it is they're supposed to do.
Absolutely. And guys, every post, when we're doing something on social media, every piece of marketing we need to do, we do need to spell out what we want the person to do next. So your call to action could be like this post, comment, subscribe, follow.
Save.
It can be as simple as, how was your day today?
Yeah, exactly. And in my content closet training, I do have a call to action checklist and mini training too. So here's some best practices on Instagram. Find your community. With 1 billion people on Instagram, your customers are likely there. So find them, connect with them, because you're not limited geographically. Like I said earlier, you can be connecting with people all over the world if they're your ideal audience. It's an opportunity to grow your following beyond the people that you know in person that may be in your community or your industry. It's an opportunity to grow way beyond that and have so much more visibility for your brand and business. It's also an opportunity for you to start following other people first, because there may be people that you've identified as being your ideal audience, or maybe referral partners or affiliates, or people that you just really want to get to know better. And they're not necessarily going to find you first. You can find them and start interacting with what it is they're sharing. Liking and commenting on other people's stuff often, and making a daily practice of that before you're posting your own stuff. Sharing relevant information. You are going to be promoting your products or services from time to time, and there's definitely a time to do that. But you also should be sharing lots and lots of relevant information with people so that they can know, like, and trust you and decide if they are even interested in buying from you. And, having those conversations that lead to sales, but they start with you initiating the conversation, not always the other person initiating it with you. And spending a few minutes daily. Linda, do you have any?
Oh, look, I think that's a really good one. It's about spending a few minutes daily, liking and commenting often. And once again, Instagram's a phone app. Make it part of your 5-minute marketing. Make it literally part of the stuff that you do every day, that you check in on your 5-minute intervals when it comes into it. Now, Adriana has asked, is Instagram a useful tool for when you're a restricted area, e.g. a builder?
Say that one more time.
Is Instagram a useful tool if your services are restricted to an area, so a particular location?
Definitely, because you can be searching for, other businesses in your area on Instagram. So yeah,
yep.
Definitely.
Showing off what you do, working with business owners, working with your suppliers. There's so many partnerships I could think of for a builder to work with who they're working with. And time-lapse videos in the world of building. Tap into the time-lapse and the hyperlapse videos.
Yeah, those are really good. And you never know who you're going to come into contact with on Instagram that's going to be connected to your ideal customer too. So the clearer you are about putting out the message of what you do and how you help your customers, that's going to get amplified and allow people to find you.
I think that's awesome.
So what to share? We'll spend quite a bit of time on this during our webinar today, because this is the #1 question that I hear from my clients, and actually everybody, is what do I say? And how do I say it? I hear this all the time. And so that's really the reason that I spent time and created this whole content closet methodology that I'll be sharing more with you. But it really starts with your clarity on who your ideal audience is. A lot of us, when we start out in business, we want to help everybody. And we want to be as general as possible. And what that does is it kind of prevents the right people from finding us, because our messaging is so diluted that it's not resonating with anybody. So the clearer you can be, and I know Linda teaches this, knowing who it is you help. Who are they? What do they have in common? It could be geography, like the question a few minutes ago, you're in a geographic area. It could be, an age range, income, education, but really understanding what your audience has in common so that you can create messaging that will appeal directly to them. And understanding, what are their challenges? What do they struggle with? What are the things that they want, they're interested, not just what you want to be sharing, but what is it they really want to know? And I always tell my clients to think about what's in it for them, not just
Absolutely.
how you can help them, but what's in it for them. Why should they read your post? Why should they look at your story? Why should they listen to your video, tune into your live? What's in it for them?
So much so.
But we get so in our heads, I want to talk about this today, or I'm promoting this that I'm doing. And we kind of we forget it's about our customers. What is it they want?
Very much so.
All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I came up with my content closet. As I told you, my clients all, kind of wonder, what is it I'm going to share on, social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or, wherever. What am I going to share? And content strategy, it just feels kind of overwhelming and heavy, and like it's a really big, complicated thing. And so in order for me to kind of simplify things for my clients and just make it really easy for them to wrap their head around, sharing content and creating content that's interesting, I wanted to just make it really accessible. And so I hit on calling content strategy content closet. And it seemed to really resonate with people. And I have a retail background years and years ago, so I think maybe in the back of my mind, that's how that all came about. But if you think of your content strategy as your content closet, the configuration of your closet, regardless of how you set up your closet, of how many racks and shelves and hanging and cubbies and all that stuff, is your plan. That's your structure. People don't see that, but they can tell by what you're sharing that you do have a structure and a plan. Now, your hangers in your closet are your general topics, and those are the big kind of broad topics that really form the foundation, the centerpiece of your closet. You can have lots of different hangers. The hangers might all be the same color, the same type, but the actual piece of content, like clothing, or your posts. So yep. I may have a bunch of hangers that are all like the same topic, but hanging on those hangers are very different things. So I'll share with you an example of that so you can kind of get your mind around it. So it makes a little sense. So if you think of, your closet, your hangers are hanging in your closet, you open your closet up. When I open my closet, I want to be inspired. I want to look in there and see, all sorts of possibility. I want there to be a variety. I don't want to look in there and everything looks the same. It's not interesting. It's old. I don't want that. The same is true of your content closet. When you open it up, you should feel like there are unlimited choices there of all sorts of really fun stuff that you can share.
Absolutely.
So your hangers, and again, we don't have a lot of time today, so we can't spend lots and lots of time working through what your hangers are. So I'm going to give you examples of some of mine. This is something that the Content Closet training, my online course, goes into. So I will tell you more about that later. But
Pop the link in the bio, guys. But wait until the very end because there's an offer.
Yeah, the Content Closet training walks you through how to do this, not in 5 minutes like what we're doing, but in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and walks you through how to create this for yourself. So I do want to share with you some of my hangers, and this is an exercise that you're going to do all the time, continually, because your hangers are going to change. The season is going to change. Your business is going to evolve. The world changes. So what you're sharing changes with that. And you want to be updating your hangers in your closet, just like you probably seasonalize your clothes to make sure that you have the clothes that you need for the right kind of weather that you're experiencing. The same is true of your content closet and your hangers. So some of my hangers include tips. I share lots and lots of tips for not just using Instagram, but social media and, some marketing tips. I also share some inspiring kinds of things. And before COVID, this wasn't a hanger that I really shared from that much. Sometimes I would share an inspiring quote. But with the advent of COVID and just everything that's going on in the world, I've just been sharing more inspiring kinds of things because I just feel like it's really needed. And so that's an example of adapting your hangers based on, what's happening, whether it's a season or culturally or, politically or whatever. Just making sure that your hangers adapt to that. I also share behind the scenes. I'll share if I'm creating a course. I shared a screen capture from Linda and I on a Zoom meeting when she was coaching me through how to get my course together. That's a behind the scenes example. My branding photo shoots. Sometimes I share stuff from my morning routine, things that, I don't typically share, but it gives people a glimpse into, the me behind the brand and the business, and helps people just kind of see another side to who I am. Testimonials. This is a great thing to be sharing because it lets people get a sense of how you can help them. Linda shares testimonials quite a bit, and it's always fun to read testimonials because it's just, we like that. It's kind of living vicariously, and we can see how someone is really happy with the results they're getting from using a product or service from someone we know. And that helps us feel comfortable buying from them too, because we know that somebody we trust had a really great result. I also share some quotes that I say, some things that I always say when I'm working with my clients. I call those Karla-isms. That's kind of how this content closet came out, because I kept talking about it all the time. And it's just, kind of evolved into this little mini training that I now have online, thanks to Linda. And shout outs. I love giving shout outs, whether it's to one of my clients, whether it's a business I love. It's just a great way to shine some light on someone else. And it feels really good when someone does that for you. So I encourage you to use shout outs as one of the hangers in your closet. It could be your referral partners, your affiliates, your friends. I mean, people that you like and support and you want other people to know about. And then I share about the different courses that I have going on, whether, that happen throughout the year at different times. So these are a few of my hangers. I have a whole lot more than this, but these are some of the ones that I use most often. And let me talk a little bit more. So this will give you an idea of, these are my hangers, and this is a screen capture from my Instagram feed sometime back. This was a few months ago. And this is a screen capture, so you get a sense of, how these are my hangers and how they worked out. You can see that I share a lot of tips, and that's pretty normal. About every other post for me is going to be about, giving some people some tools so that they can have more ease in social media. This time in this group of 9, I shared 2 inspiring kinds of things and 1 behind the scenes. Actually, looks like I shared 5 tips. So that's pretty normal for me. But this just gives you an example of, kind of how this all works out and how it kind of looks when you do it. And in my Content Closet training course, we also talk about visual style. So you can start figuring out, okay, this is the content I'm sharing, but how do I make it all look cohesive and tell my brand story so that it's on brand with what I'm sharing.
And that brings us into a question that we've just been asked, because it's so
cool.
nicely placed in this one. Are logos appropriate on your Instagram stuff? And it's coming from Adriana, who's the builder.
Okay.
I'm sure we both have our thoughts on this one.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Yep.
Yeah. So, sure. If that's your identity, putting your logo on your photos and all of the images that you're sharing is certainly appropriate. I think that's a great idea. I know there's several photographers that I follow, and they always do that on everything that they share. So I think that's a great idea, and gives you more brand visibility if somebody were to share that.
I completely agree. But there's a but on this one, guys. Logos on your Instagram images are great as long as they're on brand. Not every image, though, has to have a logo on it. But if you're a builder, a carpenter, a photographer, a graphic designer, and you're creating something, a small watermark in the bottom corners or in the articles are going to protect your work, but it's also going to make sure that people know that it's related to you. It's not a big watermark in the middle of the image that takes away from the image telling its story, and that's where the but comes in. And my other tip with amongst all of this is, if you're sticking with brand colors and there's a bit of you in there as well, not everyone has to be branded, but look, I do. You all see it on my Instagram feed. Anything that's done on the white background has my Linda Reed end of a logo on it, but most of my other stuff is normally I'm letting the brand speak for itself. But if you're sharing tips, absolutely, you want to be known for big branding, but be very careful when it comes to quotes, because I've seen people do inspirational quotes and not give credit to the quote person, but then put their logo on it. And that, unfortunately, is not looking good for you or your business.
No, I agree. And you'll notice in this group of 9, the one I have a little, statement, be grateful, and then I have my Instagram handle on that. I mean, that's not a quote. It's not a quote that could be attributed to any particular individual. It's just, kind of a reminder. So that kind of, when I share quotes or Karla-isms, I will use my handle. But, I don't feel like I need to do that on my pictures. But
Yeah.
your brand could be different, and, it might make sense for you to do that. All right. So in the Content Closet online training, we actually help you walk through what your hangers are. So that's one of the workbooks that you'll be getting. And this is so helpful. I do this exercise all the time, and I encourage my clients to do this on an ongoing basis too, because like I said, your hangers are going to change, or even if they don't, the frequency that you use your hangers may change depending on some of the other outside influences.
See, I have this vision of this walk-in wardrobe, my dream wardrobe, and I can see it as pieces of content. But I have this dream wardrobe. If you just press the button and you go, "Thank you, I'll have my summer content now." I'll have my summer
I
wardrobe.
like that. Kind of like the dry cleaner when they push the button and the clothes go around.
Exactly.
Cool. So in terms of your content, we've talked about the hangers, but I want you to start thinking about, creating variety. So think of a retail store. If you went into your favorite store and every time you went in there, there was nothing new. It was the same stuff. And maybe it was just, arranged a little bit differently, but it was the same stuff. You'd start getting frustrated or bored, and you probably wouldn't continue to shop with them. And the same is true with your Instagram, because it is so visual. You want people to be inspired and want to come and see what you're up to and what you're sharing, that there's always something new and interesting. So that's what you're going to rotate through your hangers, so that you're not sharing, for me, if I was sharing a tip every single time, I think the people that are following me would check out. They'd be like, huh, not another tip. So mixing it up and, just making it interesting so that it fits with your brand, it fits with your business, and it really helps your clients by sharing something that's relevant and interesting for them. And, just like you wouldn't wear the same thing every day, except in COVID, where you probably do. But normally, when you're out and about, you have meetings, you probably aren't wearing the same thing. You're mixing it up. You're having variety in what you're wearing. The same is true with your content. So you want to keep it interesting, fun, have lots of variety, spark engagement. You want people to want to interact with you and comment on what it is you're sharing, and, leave emojis. And, I mentioned earlier about having people come back and check in and see what's new. I always like seeing what Linda's sharing. She shares a combination between, stuff that's really helpful, behind the scenes of what course she's creating. You'll see scenes with her and her daughter out and about, maybe how she's relaxing. And so it's just a really nice variety, and then some branded content too. So,
And guys,
it's...
I think so many people get stuck up with having a very visual and very pretty Instagram board that they forget that Instagram, their first word is instant. So showing what's going on, you are able to do that. So if you look at my feed, it's not the prettiest feed in the world, but it's on brand, and it shows the perfectly imperfect nature of what business life is about.
I think you do that really, really well. Yeah. And so, the same is true for you. I have some clients who are perfectionists.
Yep.
And they want every single image and everything that they're putting out there to just be like so polished. And I realize that there is a time for that, and depending on what your business is, but you also want to give people the sense of what it's like, who you are as a person, what it's like to do business with you. And, being completely polished and completely curated may not create the conversations and the connections that you're looking for.
Exactly.
So, you say perfectly imperfect, right?
Perfectly imperfect. Whole mug over it, cold coffee cup. I love it. People are saying that they don't do perfect, and because their life is messy. And we're running businesses here, guys. We're not, You know, I've got a design team, and yes, I could have a beautifully designed thing, but I'll show you a 5-minute marketing tip. I'll show you, quite often, I'll show you on Instagram what I actually think is needed by my audience and by my market that day. One of my top performing posts, I think, Karla, you commented on this, was when I said goodbye to my red couch. She'd been sitting in my office. You know, there's a bare wall here waiting for the new one to arrive. But that's part of life. You know, it's part of life. You know, yep, Fred's got to go. There's got to be a new couch come in. It's about, guys, having that genuine conversation. So please, and those of you who follow me know this, we do perfectly and perfectly. We do not do perfect. You know, perfect is a myth. There's polished. There'll be a mistake in perfect somewhere, I can guarantee you.
Exactly. And, you know, I encourage my clients to be authentic, yes, so that their customers can get to know them. And I really strive to be authentic to my audience. You do that very well too. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. She does it very well. She's such a good student.
All right. So let me share some time-saving tools, because we're all busy and we don't have hours and hours to create the perfect graphics and to plan out these beautiful feeds and, you know, to take forever to write our posts. I mean, we're busy. So I want to share with you some of my favorite tools for really maximizing your time. So on Instagram, images are king, and they really are worth more than 1,000 words, because that's what people are going to see initially. That's what's going to draw them in and make them want to read what you're sharing. So gathering your images, generally I plan out and I start with my image, and then I figure out what I'm going to say about it. So I have a lot of photos in my image library from photo shoots. I take lots of photos, so I always have lots of photos to work with. There's something that I'm missing that I don't have a photo that I've taken. I look at Pixabay. Canva is a really great tool for creating graphics.
Unsplash is another good one for images, guys.
Yeah.
So Jace just asked a question.
Oh, sorry.
In chat. Sorry. Are inspirational quotes from famous people good engagement posts? I see them a lot in the yoga and health world, and sometimes they go viral if timed well.
I would ask yourself why you're sharing it. Are you sharing it just for engagement, or is there something about that quote that resonates with you? I would say share things that just resonate with you, rather than because you want it to get reshared or you know, get lots of comments. You know, just connect into the authenticity of your brand and business as you're looking at what, you know, is meaningful to share to your audience. Is that helpful?
If you're sharing a quote like that, guys, make sure that you've got some reason to share it with your audience. It's not just, so put your spin on it. If you're going to take a quote from a famous person, put a spin on it, or explain what it means to you.
Yes. One of my pet peeves is when somebody will share an inspirational quote, and then they repeat out the quote in their description. It's like, I just read that. Why are you telling me what it is again?
Yeah.
You know, comment on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Canva is wonderful for creating graphics and quotes and branded kinds of pieces for your Instagram feed and Instagram stories. And make sure that whatever you're sharing, you know, your imagery is consistent with your brand look and feel. It doesn't have to all be professional quality, but it really needs to be authentic and on brand for you. And we talked about that a few minutes ago. So tools for sharing content. Here are some things that make it easy to take some pieces of content and make it easy to share them. So I like to use the repost app. So if somebody shared something on Instagram and I want to reshare it for whatever reason, maybe they've mentioned me, maybe I'm doing a shout out to them, using the repost app, it's free. It's just a great way to be able to share that with attribution to the person who originated the content. And I think that's just professional. Key. Yeah. and then Snagit. I use Snagit a lot for my trainings. It's super easy to take a screenshot and then add it to PowerPoint. So that's something that I use all the time. And then Loom. Loom is an app for your desktop and also your phone. And so if I'm doing a really quick tutorial for someone on how to do something on the phone, for instance, how to find something on Instagram. I think I did one of these the other day because somebody had asked me, oh, how do I find when people mention me?
Yeah.
What are all the different ways to find that? So I did a really quick 2-minute video on Loom that I could just text them, and it just walks them through. So it's brilliant. And then Linda turned me on to Screencastify.
It's
And
awesome.
what a great tool. So I used Screencastify. It's a screencasting. You can use it for a video and your screen share. It can be just you talking and sharing your screen. And I use this to create all the videos for my online course. And it's really a wonderful, wonderful tool that's available on the desktop. And I didn't use it on
desktop. Yeah.
Yeah, I used it on the desktop, and it's a wonderful tool. And then you can save everything to the cloud, and so you don't use up all your bandwidth, like what happens on Zoom if you try and keep all your recordings in the cloud, and then
Cloud, yes.
yeah, you get in trouble. And then planning and posting tools. Here are some tools that I really like for these are apps and desktop versions. So this allows you to go ahead and add, upload your photos, and then you can build out your captions. So Planoly is the one that I use for myself, and it allows you to upload 30 images, I believe, for free. And then you can move them around and figure out how they look next to each other, which is so great for Instagram, and then do your captions and schedule them. Buffer, I think for their paid version, you can do that as well. I use Buffer for a couple of my clients that I manage. Hootsuite is another tool if you want all sorts of metrics and reporting and all sorts of extra bells and whistles. Hootsuite can be really great. Visually and for Instagram, I think these other tools, I like them better. And then I just
add a disclaimer to Hootsuite. As much as I love it, guys, if you're already overwhelmed in the world of social media, do not touch Hootsuite.
Don't go there. Yeah, it's just like too much. It's like, yeah.
Even for us who do it as a living, you get there and you go, oh my gosh, where do I go now?
And then I just started using Later app. And so these are desktop and an app for your phone. Yep. And what I typically do with these is I'll upload things from my phone with the app, and then I'll go to the desktop and write out my descriptions and add my hashtags and stuff. I just find that's easier in schedule. So those are some tools that will help you hopefully save lots of time. And here is what we learned today. You know, why Instagram is powerful and why you should pay attention and start using it with a strategy. And then strategies for using Instagram for your business, so that you're not just being random and sharing things randomly when you happen to feel like it, which is fine if it's your personal account. But if you're trying to use it for business, being intentional about it is going to be really helpful for you and for your audience. We talked about things to share using the content closet and coming up with your hangers and time-saving tools. And then I wanted to share some action items with you next, just because it's no good learning more stuff if you can't put it into action, and it's not helpful. So I invite you to make a commitment to yourself of how many times a week you want to share to Instagram. And it doesn't matter. It can be once, it can be 2 or 3 times, it could be 5 times a week. You know, it's really what's doable for you and what's maintainable. So just committing to yourself over the next 30 days, this is how many times I really want to be sharing. And then planning out your posts once a week using one of these tools that I shared with you, and scheduling them weekly so that you can sit down, you can do it once a week, and then that frees up your 5 minutes each day to go through and be engaging with other people and checking how people were engaging with you. So I invite you to pick one of these or two and start doing this so you can get into action around your Instagram. And
that is awesome.
I have an offer for you.
It does. Yes. Well trained student.
So thanks to Linda, I created my first online course, and it's called My Content Closet. I've shared that with you. And if you're interested, it's $97, and I'm offering 20% to everyone that's in this webinar with the code HANGERS, HANGERS, and the code will be available. You can get the 20% discount until the 15th of this month, or September. I guess it's September where you are.
It is September where we are. It's the 15th of September.
Yeah. So it's still August 31st where I am. But this will go through the 15th of September if you want to take advantage of the 20% off. And follow me on Instagram and come say hi. Tell me that you were in this webinar, and you can tell me what you're going to be doing, which of the action steps that you want to do. But, get into action. That's the most important thing. So,
okay. Karla, I've just been asked a question. I'm going to do one thing. Nicole, I've sent you a message. You can talk to me that way about your question. That'll be fine. Guys, there is a bit of my brain will function in a second. Nicole's also asked us, though, one question about, does Karla only recommend planning ahead weekly and not longer? And if so, why?
Okay, that's a great question. No, you can do much longer. I try and keep my clients from getting overwhelmed. And so sometimes if I say, oh, sit down and plan a month's worth of posts, that's going to feel really overwhelming if you're not used to doing it. So I would say, do what's comfortable for you. What I like to do is I plan in groups of 9 or 12 because that's what your feed shows at any given time. So I will go through and figure out what 9 or 12 images I'm going to share, and then I'll go back and write the captions and schedule them. Or I'll just schedule them so I know how they're all going to look next to each other, and then I'll write the captions as I need to. And then what often happens is something comes along. I work with wineries quite a bit, and there's all these wine holidays, and I think I've got them all in my calendar, and I forget one, and I see somebody sharing, oh, it's White Wine Day, and I'll be like, oh, darn. And so then I'll think, oh, okay, I've got this great picture. So I'll share that, and then, it kind of moves everything else around in my, my plan, which is fine. So I like to do 9 to 12, just because that helps me maintain my visual style. And you can do, I know people that do like a month worth of posts and just get them all planned. I don't work that far out. I just don't, but I know a lot of people do, and they like that. I find that I end up moving things around and adding things, and I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have this, wonderful inspired idea that doesn't work with what I've already got scheduled, and so I'll pop that in instead. So I'm always working a little closer out, but you're free to do whatever is not overwhelming and what feels really helpful and time saving for you.
My tip on that one, guys, is if you want to go a month ahead, absolutely feel free to go a month ahead with your content, but don't have a post going out every day. Have a post going out maybe every 2 or 3 days, so that if you do get busy, and I know what it's like to be a business owner and get busy and go, oh man, Instagram, that's the last thing on my mind to think of a creative post because I'm exhausted and really need a glass of wine or some coffee amongst it all. So just plan a couple so that you're still showing up. So you might do your 9 or your 12 posts, and you might schedule it, break it out over the month. So you're showing up consistently. You're better to show up consistently than sporadically and not showing up at all, and then showing up again. And then the algorithm has to learn, well, are they actually serious about being here or not? And that goes for every social media channel, because the algorithm, it just does what I just did. No, I'm not sure you're serious. So it's about making sure that you're there regularly. So if you've got a month's worth of content, you can load it. And look, I'm a later girl. I'll admit that from the very, very start. I love later for the LinkedIn bio feature that it has, but you can load all the content there and just drag from it. You can just drag and schedule it through. So you don't have to have it through in that area. Beautiful. So Mary has said that she loves the tips that we've shared today. Karla saying she likes, Sharon saying she likes some spontaneity. Renee says she's consistent on one of her accounts, which is totally planned. But the other one, she tries to post each day, but she'll be, but I'm more on stories on that account. So that's an interesting one. Guys, if you've got any last minute questions, pop into the Q&A, because the chats move really fast and I would love to come and answer them in the Q&A for you here, and we can answer them. Otherwise, we're almost out of time. It's the world of Instagram. Pop your handles in. One last final call to pop your Instagram handles in for the day. It has been a great and amazing session. Now, I popped the link in with our referral accounts, referral details, for you guys to be able to take up the offer with Karla and be able to save that. So it's $97 US, 20% off if you use the code hangers, and you'll be able to do that. Karla, we don't have your Instagram handle. We haven't dropped it into chat.
Oh, it's on the slide. It's magnetic marketing _ social media.
There we go.
Linda, since I'm new
to Instagram accounts that support each other's businesses.
I'm sorry.
We got one on how do we optimize to Instagram accounts. Jane, that's more of a marketing strategy stuff, and because we've got a session this week, we'll have a chat about that one. Jane's one of my clients, so we'll jump in and have more of a chat about that. But it's about, just making sure that everything's consistent, and if you can reshare and repost across those areas, then do it, but don't do too much of it all at once.
Yeah,
they'll have different audiences.
I was just going to ask, I should have asked you this at the beginning. If people use this link, do you get credit?
The link I've just popped in, yes. Yeah,
that's the
affiliate link.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So I just want to say, if something doesn't work, and if, this is my first time with the course, so I will get everything working. I think it's all fine. Linda coached me through everything, but I just want to let you know, full disclaimer, that there may be a glitch or something. So if there is, yep, I'll get it fixed.
Guys, if you want to go and share your handles, if you head to the business page, Renee's just asked that one, where you can share your real areas later. I actually am on back-to-back calls right up until 5 o'clock tonight. So but you can go to the live stream and share it on the Facebook Live, and that will be fine. Go and share it on your Instagram handle, and people are already doing that, which is great. Pro tip though, if you're going to go and share it on the Facebook account, use instagram.com/your handle, and that makes a live link that people can click on and make it really easy for people to be able to follow you, rather than having to go, oh, I have to type that into Instagram.
And misspell it, and then you can't find.
One final question for us today. Why stories over posts?
I think you need both.
Yes.
So there's 5 neighborhoods on Instagram, and your feed post is kind of like your home base, your home. Stories are like your favorite hangout. And so they reach different audiences, and you can do, kind of a different flavor with both of those. Stories can be a little more casual. They don't necessarily have to be, but if you can be in both places, I highly recommend it, and I wouldn't choose one over the other. I try and do both, because you'll reach different audiences and you'll reach more people.
Exactly. My main one is completely what you've just said. You want a little mix of both. You want to be making sure that we are tapping in to multiple things with the stories and chat and feed, and also working out what works for your people. Okay, so Karla, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm just going to wrap everyone up now with what we've got coming up next. So I've just popped the skills link into the skills page link in to the webinar chat here, and I'll come into the live Q&A shortly. Oh, I'm here. I can do it there as well. It's definitely, so the skills webinar is there. The skills page is there. The skills page on Business will let you know the upcoming workshops, the upcoming information, the upcoming stuff that we have happening. Now, next week we are doing a walkthrough and an understanding Facebook. So it's going to be a session with me. I will be here by myself, so please be kind to me. As we go through Facebook and we get to understand what's happening, where the new things are, the glitches, the bugs. Yep, because it's a change in Facebook world, so we do get glitches and bugs along the way, and we'll delve into that one as well. So that's our next skills webinar. We have a couple of upcoming workshops with me that you can jump in and get on board with, and they include, bear with me and let me get the right page up in front of me. They include, we've got the Nurturing with Leads working day throughout on September 15th, where we're going to be going through the leads process of how you've had an opt-in and how to nurture those leads and work with them and make sure that people are working with it. And we've also got the Build Your Profile, Be the Expert Challenge coming up in October, where we are diving fully into the world of being the expert and building your expertise. So there's 30 days, 30 different activities to build your expertise, and 2 check-ins with me a week so that I can, you know, politely make sure that you're taking action. And teaching you new things to be able to do those things. Karla, once again, thank you for joining us. For those of you who are looking at understanding how to make your hangers work for your business, check out Karla's course, jump on, sign up, register. For $97, I'm sure the content plans that you will come up with will more than replace its opportunity. And I can tell you there's some amazing content packed into that course because I've been behind the scenes of it, watching it all go together. So once again, thank you, Karla. Congratulations on launching your course into the online world.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Linda, thank you again for everything.
You are welcome. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you around this week. Bye.